Let's get it, man. Let's get it. We got my guy here, man. We got Paul PJ Miller from NJIT to the DMV, or is that backwards? The DMV to NJIT, something like that. I think that's how it went, something like that. But nah, when you talk about, man, you talk about my guy PJ. He was actually he was my leader, right? So I came in freshman, fresh out of prep school. I don't know why I did all that stuff. Fresh out of prep school though. And PJ was there. So he, coming from the DMV, one of the top guys to come out of the DMV, top guards for sure. 4 years started at NJIT at the point guard position. He was running the show. Preseason all conference senior year, ranked top 3 in the conference in steals, assist to turnover ratio, entrepreneur, husband, father, fashion aficionado, sports, entertainment. You just never know what you're going to get from this guy. Investor, right? You never know what you're going to get from this guy, man. So P, I'm definitely grateful to spend this time with you, man, and really just have you on when the ball stops bouncing.
Man, thank you for that humbling intro. I appreciate that, brother. Likewise, it's respect to everything that you got doing. So just honored with the opportunity to be on the platform, man. So and kind of get his game up. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So man, look, how in the world did you end up at NJIT? Right? You talk about the top guard from the DMV ends up at NJIT, man. Tell us about it. How'd that happen?
Well, it's crazy because, as you know, being an athlete and as other athletes know, things can happen really fast in the recruiting process. You have schools that say, you're their guy, and then, you miss a visit and then they have another guy. So, for me, I was always, like I said, I was recruited heavily from the area. And I think my last year going into my senior season, I was having a really, really good, showing out on the AU circuit and actually just really hurt my knee. And it wasn't really nothing much. I think it even was my ankle. But anyway, I had about like 3 schools locked in. And it was just more so me picking. NJIT was always there, messaging me, shout out to Coach Spisto, Coach Bowman and Coach Ingles there at the time. So it was more a situation where when I saw what was going on after I got hurt, I was like, all right, I need to go somewhere where one, I'm going to be, not only a priority off the court, but on the court. And then somewhere where I can make an impact. I think that's been my journey professionally, just in life. Like I'm the type of person that if everybody goes right, I'm gonna go left. I just like the work. I like putting work in. And I think that the reward is a lot more fulfilling when you don't, kind of take those easy routes. So, I mean, the Washington Post, they wrote an article. I think the title of it was PJ Miller goes to NJIT. It was like ... And
right.
It was just
that dash mark, right? Yeah.
It was just like 4 dots. They was dashing me like, because they have been heavily, following me and everything. But as you know, man, we wrote history. So it was definitely the right move for me. So.
So did you always know that you would be a Division I athlete? Was that ever a question for you?
No, man. Like I would say, I'm obviously, grew into, myself, as I got into high school. But you wouldn't probably think this, but when I was a freshman in high school, I think I was like 5'6". Like I just had like clown feet, and I just knew how to hoop. It was just, but I was short. So it really didn't hit me until when I was at, because I went to Bishop O'Connell. I went to a few schools in high school, but more so just because, like I said, my growth as just a basketball player, I was always, school wasn't an issue. So I always had grades, but I had to make a decision. Did I want to, actually be just on varsity, or did I want to, contribute to a varsity program? So made that decision, man. And I think when it really changed for me, I was at Progressive Christian Academy for a year. It was like, that was the first level of real, like, kind of fame, as you would call it. We were in the Slam magazine. It was crazy. Like every starting 5 was going, top D1. And I was kind of like that bench player, but I was growing into my body. And I actually played on the prep team. So I stopped playing varsity and I played on the prep team because they needed a point guard. We actually ended up winning the national championship. Me as 10th, 11th grade on a prep school. But I did this workout. This was back, obviously rest in peace, Kobe. He had this workout where you basically woke up in the morning. It was three straight months. I woke up, my dad, he works DC in the government. and I was waking up because he had to be to work at 4. So I had to be up with him to get to school. Because at Progressive we had like a almost like a out, kind of like a, before Airbnb and everything, we had like a little outhouse where all of the players,
Mm,
anybody that played JUCO or they understand that life. So we had a house and we had the prep coach. He lived there with the guys that were from other states, and took a liking to kind of my work ethic. And he was like, "Man, look, I see what you're doing, but I think that you can do a lot better." And he told me about Kobe. I started reading books, kind of the art of war, different things, like really getting my mind right. And I think like that was where I knew like, okay, I can play at the next level because talent wise, I'm playing against 50 year seniors, guys that's going, Big East, power, power five, like everywhere. So once I got that, and then that summer I grew into my body, and then now
mm.
at that point I was probably like 5'11", now I'm 6'2", 6'3", and I'm doing anything I want on the court. So
Right, right.
so I think it was that there, and then when I went to Potomac School, my first year we won a state championship. So that kind of put the light on kind of everything that I was able to do. But I think I was being a late bloomer helped me because when I came out and people saw what I was doing, they didn't even know who I was because they just remembered that, kind of short kid,
The
that
small kid. Yeah,
a small kid that could play. And then, once I got that opportunity, sky's the limit, man. So
So
definitely.
you named a couple of the top programs, right? And you named, Bishop O'Connell, you named Progressive, you named Potomac, right? You've won at every level that you've been at. What are some of the characteristics that you saw in those different programs, in those different schools that you still carry throughout your life today?
I think the biggest thing, like I said, is one, like I said, a work ethic, and even going deeper, a consistent work ethic. I feel like when I got to all those different programs, the actual skill was taken away because everybody on the court, had a skill set. It was more so kind of what was inside of you, your mental. That's where, like I said, reading a lot of those books at that early age, you just start seeing topics that you like, wow, I can put that into play when I'm on the court. Like if I see a guy and, obviously being one of the top guys, you got guys on you every night. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I can see when you're going to basically turn it off. And then when you turn it off, I'm going to turn it up probably 2 times more. And
Yeah.
that's when, kind of that separation. And I think that, more so just taking real pride in your craft.
Right.
And as you go to the next level, it's more the work that you put in. If you're in the gym every day, when you get on the court for that, when it's game time, it's just a lot more easier because a lot of those movements and a lot of those plays or shots just come effortless to
Mm-hmm.
you, whereas it is a lot difficult for other people. So
So you mentioned something key a second ago. You're talking about the characteristics, and you're starting to build up who PJ Miller is. But something you said a second ago is you said you saw your dad wake up every day at 4 a.m. to go to work. What type of impact did that have on your mental and your mentality that you carry today?
Man, one, my dad is my best friend, my role model. I can't say anything, bad about that guy. And what I appreciate was that he went to work every day and just showed me how to really be a man. I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's something that allowed me to uh, advance a lot faster because, mental health and trauma is a thing. So, having somebody that could keep me stable allowed me to just prosper on the basketball court because that's what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was understanding your 4 priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that I talk to of youth or any of my peers, I say that when you wake up every day, you should know your 4 priorities. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
4 things that if anything happened, those are going to get you out of any situation because
Mm-hmm.
you know exactly what you're waking up every day and your goals are to make sure that they align with those four priorities.
Yep.
Um, mhm.
Yeah, and I didn't know if you wanted to go into that or did you want to go into
No,
your
I
priorities?
think that was it. I
Okay.
think for me, and it's funny because one thing that I learned, and I learned this from the coach at Progressive,
Mm-hmm.
Coach Derek Harvey. He actually, if he's still there, he coaches at St. James uh,
Mm-hmm.
in the MAC. So like we kind of, like I said, Potomac School, we broke the MAC out, and now
Yep.
you seeing dudes in the league, from the MAC conference back in DC. So it's definitely good to see. And like I said, those priorities for me when I was in school was God, family, school, and basketball. I got it. I
Yep.
got it. I have a tattoo, and that's what it
Hmm.
says. So, but I had to learn now, fast track of where I'm at now. What are those priorities? And we
Right.
struggle with that because it's like in my adolescent years, I might have thought differently. But my priority could change. I could have 4 priorities on Monday and it changes on Friday. Just
Hmm.
how quickly life can change. So for me, that's a big thing that I preach to people, and kind of give them that game on that. It's kind of like that's a really good starting point. If you're ever in a place or a dark place or need, kind of guidance, it's like just kind of look in the mirror and be like, man, what are the 4 things that I really stand behind? And whatever problem that you're going through, I guarantee that, you can get, through it, with time.
So then taking those priorities, and I know we just talked about you played at NJIT, you went to NJIT as a student athlete,
Mhm.
you had a full scholarship. But
Mhm.
when you go to college, right, a lot of times we're like, hey, look, NBA, overseas pro, what have you.
Mhm.
But being able to be a scholarship athlete, you're playing at the highest level, you're playing against some of the best guys, which you're used to playing against your whole life. But now let's talk a little bit about the academic side, right? So how does one choose their major, right? So it's like, yeah, I know I'm going to the NBA. That's clear. I'm a freshman. I'm going to the NBA.
Yeah.
Many of us know nothing about college athletics as a whole anyway. Like there's an actual offense that coach is going to tell you that you got to run when
Yep.
you're the best player and used to just getting the ball. But
Mhm.
when you think about just being able to select a major and being able to find a
Mhm.
career path for your life, what's that look like for you?
For me, when I was at Tech, it was more so kind of I always wanted to be in the city, so that was a big reason why I picked to go to NJIT. Be close to New York City, and I just loved business. Like
Mm-hmm.
growing up, you see the guys on Wall Street, or you see the guys in the suit, and that was appealing to me. I felt like I wanted to kind of be in that space. I knew I always wanted to own something or be a business owner. So I think that was easy for me to get into the School of Business, and then the School of Business was new at NJIT, so it was something that you were, like I said again, you're able to make your own path, your own way, with kind of the resources that are given to you. So in college for athletes, it's just like I would say, pick something that you can see longevity in, but understand that that major is possibly not going to be in the space that you end up at,
Yep.
if you don't play at the next level, you kind of build your career based off of seeing the things that you don't like. And
Yep.
that's what people sometimes don't understand. It's kind of like you're going to see the things you don't like before you see the thing that you like. And I tell people to embrace that, because you might be a marketing major, but you might say, all right, I've been at NJIT so long, I like social media or the tech side of
Mm-hmm.
social media. Now you might not have got a major as an engineer, but you maybe can go take some coding classes. You may do some things on the side that can give you that skill to then go out to the world and, kind of impact it the way that you want to.
So you did something that I thought was wise beyond your years. Something that I wish I would have done when I was in college.
Mhm.
But something pushed you to do an internship.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that was. That you still, again, we still have games on the schedule, right? We still have, I was a freshman when I came in when you were a senior, but you still had your senior year that you were going into, but you did an internship. What pushed you in that direction?
Well, man, huge shout out to Mr. Howell. Tony Howell is someone that the NJIT's retired now, but he was running the EOP program. He hooped at DePaul. So I took a liking to, kind of just, as he had a whole kind of swagger about him on
Mm-hmm.
campus. So just one day, just, kind of, really just pulled up on his office and was like, hey, Mr. Howell, man, just want to talk. Like, I kind of want to know more about what you do. As you know, I'm on the team. And he was just like, actually, I've been looking at a lot of the things that you're doing. I see your impact on, kind of the university. Because, as we were doing we were doing anything to get some money. So in the
Right,
summertime,
right.
we were, getting on, the Capital One,
Yep.
different things of that nature. So he was like, man, look, I got an opportunity. I know you, are, going into your senior season. But at the time, Panasonic was looking for, they were starting their, more like sports marketing division. And he was like, man, they have an internship. I think you'll be perfect. It'll be great
Mm-hmm.
for the university. Um, Coaching staff didn't take it that well. But but I didn't even tell him until I got the internship.
Right.
I kind of don't really tell this story that much, but when it came to the internship, just to give you a gist of like my day, we were still, although it was the summer, we were still working out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still taking classes. So I didn't have a car in Jersey, but it was in Maryland. So I had to take public transportation. And in New Jersey, you have like the path, you have the bus, different trains and things of that nature. But I had to take a bus to a train just to
Mm-hmm.
get to work at like, basically I had to be there by 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I did a regular, day. I was gone around like 3, 4. I think I probably had to leave a little early because I had a workout at 6. So
Mm-hmm.
I had an hour and a half to get on public transportation and get back to school to do my workout. And that was for like 35 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour. Shower, go to the caf, rub down some food, and then I had a class. I had late night classes. In
And
the
this is summer school. Like people don't understand. This is what Division I basketball is. This is a
exactly.
day in the life.
Yeah, like this isn't even during the season, because during the
Mm-hmm.
season it's even crazier.
Yep.
Because obviously that internship, how that's taken out is you got classes, so you can just
Yep.
basically put the two in together. And I still had classes, but I tell that story because I would never be able to be in that position or do it if I didn't do what I did at Progressive to get myself and wake up that early in the morning and know I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Full circle.
I had to wake up that early to even know that I could wake up
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
present that early in
Yep.
them. So yeah, man, that's really it, and that's not, like I said, that's not for everybody, because although that was a decision I made, that was a very hard decision, but I had to go even harder when I got on the court because coaches knew that I was doing something else that wasn't contributing to, what was going on our team. And it really, made me mature a lot faster because you guys, looked at me as the leader to ensure that I was doing what I needed to do on the court.
Yeah, and I think that internship helped you a lot with what you have going on today with R3V, right? So, what do you
Correct.
guys have going on at R3V?
Yeah. So basically, about I would say early last year, kind of like right after the pandemic, I got brought on to a sports agency to basically help, kind of grow the agency with kind of all of the business services and everything. Mainly because of my background in marketing and then merchandising. I actually helped the team build out a NIL store. It's called the
Mm-hmm.
NIL shop. And our agency actually works with not only pro athletes, but collegiate athletes. And we also in the high school space. So from a collegiate perspective, this was basically the early stages of NIL. Our agency was a part. We were not on the pro side, but we were, in the trenches, really helping these athletes that we have relationships with navigate through a space that is a little bit more clear now.